10 years ago, I went through a complete metamorphosis where I had to do a total cocooning process. Depending on what mood I'm in, sometimes I call it cocooning, and sometimes I call it just shattering, totally taking like a sledgehammer and just shattering the glass house that I had built and rebuilding it piece by piece by piece. And my life became like that scene in The Matrix, you know, where he takes Neo and he says, where Morpheus takes Neo and he basically says, do you want, you know, the red pill or the blue pill? Do you want to take the pill where you forget and you can go back to life as you once knew it and you take the easy path? Or do you want to take the pill? Do you want to really see what the truth is all about? And that became such an insane process for me. And you know, the old saying that what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Well, I was really struggling there between killing me or making me stronger for a while, as I really got just scraped through rock bottom of my own life, as I was really searching and praying and insisting on truth in every area of my life, in my faith, with my family, with my profession and my career, and what I stood for, what my value system was, my health, nutrition, everything, all of it. It's like I had to do like a complete, I don't want to call it a lobotomy, but just like a total catharsis, cleaning, scrubbing, filtering everything. And if you've ever done any research into what it means to literally separate the wheat from the chaff, it is an extremely painful process. And that's what I put myself through for a number of years. And I went completely off grid to do that. I was still, you know, doing professional projects here and there. And of course, still spending a lot of time with my son, doing some consulting work. I was never bored. There was never a dull moment, that's for sure. But through this whole process, you know, what I really realized was that I spent a good 20 years of my life. I would say the first 2 decades plus a couple of years being programmed by society, being conditioned by society to play by the rules. This is what everyone expects, you know, be polite, say yes, do the right thing, you know, go to school, get a good job, get good grades, you know, don't rock the boat, be steady, be safe, do what is expected of you. This is what everyone does, and like the emotional attachments that come along with everything. And we oftentimes overlook how deeply ingrained our social programming is and our emotional conditioning. We're not even aware of it. So as I began to start to unplug and start to really think about, okay, from now on, I'm not going to do things just because it's the way I've always done them. And I'm not going to do things just because it's what is expected of me. And I'm not going to do things just because it's what everyone else is doing. But I'm going to question everything. I'm going to rethink everything. And I'm going to really stop and look at what it would be like to live a life without limits. Like, what is my own potential? What is human potential? What does that look like? What are we capable of? What's possible? And why are so many of us just settling for mediocrity? And I began digging and searching and digging and searching and digging and searching. And the more that I found, the more shocked that I was that we're just settling for such a tiny little slice of life. Why are we allowing ourselves to live so small? You know, the old saying, don't go to the ocean with a teaspoon. That's what many of us are doing, and we don't even realize that we're doing it. So, you know that over the last couple of years, I've become very passionate about education. As my own son started to get to grade school ages and we started exploring schools, and as you know, I was in international business and we were traveling internationally. My son was in school on 3 different continents, and we were looking at schools all over the globe. And I began to see that this educational frustration really was a global frustration. It wasn't just something that was localized to any one city, state, or country. It was a global frustration. And I found it very interesting that, you know, being in the personal and professional development world, like so many of us are, you look at so many authors and speakers and world changers, pioneers, visionaries, you know, founders and CEOs of Fortune 100, Fortune 500 companies, and they're talking about, and they're screaming from the platforms, education has to change. But nobody's willing to do it because it's such a gross thought of having to go up against the government, having to fight bureaucracy and all this nonsense that nobody has the time or energy to do. So I started thinking about, what if it doesn't have to be that way? What if we really can reinvent the educational system? What if we really can transform the educational system so that our kids have the opportunities that we only dreamed were possible? What if you don't have to wait until you're 25 or 30 and frustrated and broke and just bored of your life and feeling like you're tired of being, handcuffed and suffocated by corporate America? What if you don't have to get to that breaking point before you decide to go back and learn all about life skills and leadership and the entrepreneurial skills that are necessary to become a pioneer and a dream achiever in today's world? What if we actually could teach those skills from elementary school? What if we could raise a new generation of students to become millennial leaders? That is what I am really, really excited about. And that is what I know my mission is. That is the mark that I am to leave on this world, is to be a small part of bringing that dream to life and bringing that vision to manifest right here in front of us. So what if we can call all of those A-listers? What if we can call the world changers? What if we can call the pioneers together and we create an incredible educational system that makes this type of education available to every kid on the planet, regardless of where they live, regardless of who their parents are, regardless of what their financial situation is, and regardless of what their circumstances are that have defined their life up till now? What if we could give every kid a fair shot? So I know many of you have kids, and all of you remember what it's like to be a kid. That's what we're gonna go back and do, is we're gonna say, what would a dream education look like? What do we need to be able to give our kids to become the millennial leaders of tomorrow? That's what this school system is all about. That's what life is all about. And we are gonna put this school system together worldwide. We have amazing results up and running so far, and this is where you come into play. If you have kids, I want you to stop and think for 2 seconds. What kind of education does your child need? Do they need a cookie cutter education where it's one size fits all? Or do you want them to have a customized curriculum? Do you want them to have all the basics plus extracurricular plus leadership skills plus life skills? What is it that would make a dream education for your child? Can you just imagine it? What if it were possible? What if it could be possible sooner rather than later? What if it could be possible in your neighborhood for your kids? That's what we're gonna do here together as a team, is we're gonna band together and we're gonna look at not only continuing our own education, the personal and professional development that we need as adults, as entrepreneurs, as aspiring dreamers. Our education never stops. The average CEO today reads 52 books per year. Y'all, that's a book a week. So the movers and shakers of the world never stop learning. So as we, the parents, continue our dream and continue our education, we want to make sure that our kids are also equipped to go out there and to give their dreams a fighting chance. But here's the thing. We can't just assume we're going to take our dreams and rubber stamp it, repeat on them. We've got to give them the freedom and the pathway to design their own dreams. We've got to give them the space to feel safe, where we love and support them, but we don't force our dreams on them. We let them come up with dreams of their own. That's what we're going to do together. So as we move forward into millennial leadership, what we're going to be looking at together is not only how do we continue to redefine ourselves. You know what? We can reinvent ourselves any day of the week. I'm a big believer that you can start a diet in the middle of a bag of potato chips. You can decide that you are going to become a millionaire, billionaire while you are filing for bankruptcy. You can go back. You can learn financial savvy. After you have been being beat up emotionally again and again and again, you can decide that you are going to have healthy boundaries and you are going to be a strong, capable, confident person. You can decide today. You are one decision away from the person that you want to be. And the same thing is true for our kids. So here together in this community, we're going to turn the world upside down. We are going to rock it to a whole new tune, where we are going to make sure that we are empowering and equipping not only ourselves, but our children's children. How does that sound to you? The world rocking begins today. Love you guys. Talk soon.